Greetings, friends. Today, we are going to talk about something that people are hearing about. They're seeing it, but they might not know much about it. Today, we're discussing Patriot Front. Who are they? Well, they started in 2016 after the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. They are a combination of the Triple K and the neo-Nazi movement, the fascists. Now, here's the funny thing about them. They're all conservative Republicans. They're all Trump supporters. They're the Proud Boys that Trump gave his shout out to, right around his, the attempted impeachment, which failed. Now, Patriot Front. Simple. It's right there out in the open. It's obvious. They're using patriotism as a front. Patriot Front. Now, if you're slow, you're not going to catch on to that. So, they like to dress up with khaki pants, face masks, sunglasses, same hat. They want to create an ultra-nationalist, white supremacist state. And the thing is, it's not necessarily white people, or it's not necessarily minorities, like colored minorities, people with different colored skin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that like I'm living in the 1950s, colored people. No. People who aren't white. No, they're targeting people who are Jewish, people who are gay. They're ICE agents. They're former military servicemen. They're police officers, judges. Just like the Triple K, they're in all parts of society. In the state that I live in, I've actually been targeted by them. It's not fun. They call themselves patriots, and they say that they're the descendants of the true founding fathers, but they're not. The leader, Thomas Rousseau, pretty sure he isn't descended from one of the founding fathers. I am, in fact, descended from the 13 colonies, and I was targeted by Patriot Front. Simply because I expressed that I'm not really too into a president who is a billionaire, was born rich, has suspicious history, and likes to lie a lot, and is quite obviously a narcissist. I've dealt with narcissists my entire life. I don't like them. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, because they're never sorry. They don't feel anything. They're nihilists. So, what does Patriot Front want from you and me? Submission, complacency, conformity. They want to bring back slavery. It's what the MAGA movement is. The whole Make America Great Again. They're talking about regressing back to former times before civil rights, back when it was normal to hate on gays, when it was normal to treat blacks differently, or treat Hispanics differently, or Asians, or anyone who wasn't white. And then they also share the ideologies of the Axis World War II powers, the fascist movement. And their greatest enemy is apparently Antifa, anti-fascism. So I've learned that Trump himself has tried to say that Antifa are a bunch of domestic violent types, domestic radicals. Funny. We're not the ones who tried to overtake the Capitol on January 6th. We're not the ones who are trying to keep the Epstein files hidden. And we're not the ones who are demonizing or putting down anyone who brings the Epstein files up. I've learned that even Facebook and YouTube are pushing this right-wing propaganda, where apparently Russian agents, North Koreans, Iranians, people who aren't even American, are posting these fake posts, these YouTube accounts, where they're pretending to be American citizens promoting Trump. But then you do a little research on them and you discover it's not even an account based in America. Some of them are very obvious. You just look at the page and everything's in broken English, like someone doesn't actually understand what they're typing. They want to convince you that they're the majority. They're not. They're not. And if they are, God help this country. Because I don't know about you, but in my opinion, these guys are the least Christian mofos you could ever come across. They might as well be Satanists. They might as well be practicing witchcraft. Because they're into some seriously dark, dark stuff. Their mentality is dark. Their heart is cold. Their soul is non-existent. It's down below. Yeah, God help this country. Because see, my God, my Lord, He wouldn't condone any of this. My God, His Son, Jesus, preached love, peace, turning the other cheek. Patriot Front, I've dealt with these guys. They're bullies. They just want to go around attacking anyone who doesn't feel the way they feel. They're tweakers. They're criminals. They're the same kind of people that they claim the Democrats are. They're hurting little kids. They're beating their wives, committing fraud, abusing their employees. They're doing terrible things to their own people, their own American citizens, their own fellow Americans, and they're calling it patriotism. Sounds like narcissism to me. But hey, that's just my opinion. The more you know. Now, don't take me for my word. I want you to do your own digging. Investigate. Be curious. Get those neurons and synapses firing, you know? And don't be satisfied with the first search result you come across or whatever. Always consider that there might be another angle at play. Now, I could go on about this for a while. I could go on about Russia and North Korea partnering up, building a bridge together. I could talk about how NATO might have to get involved, how we seem to be manipulated into another civil war just so that we were distracted with an inner conflict within our own borders. And our troops are indisposed overseas. Our munitions are being wasted on Iran. And we're about to be wide open. And the sad thing is, I, as an American citizen, whose family has been here for over 400 years, I don't want to see my country at war anymore. I'm tired of this. The last valid war we had was World War II. The last war that actually wasn't questionable. Everybody, we knew we were doing the right thing. Ever since then, it's been questionable. There's always these different theories, these politics, these things that are hidden that they don't want you to know about, investigations that the FBI does and then are somehow swept under the rug. And don't even get me started on 9/11. I remember that day. I remember seeing my mom scream. I remember crying. And I remember thinking, God, it looks just like the controlled demolitions you see in Vegas. Why are the buildings falling like that? Why are they falling like something happened down below? Anyone with a basic understanding of physics knows that there should have been something left standing. But hey, like I said, don't take my word for it. Just question. Wonder why. Why some things just don't make sense. Why so many things seem so fishy. It's not you. There's something going on. And I think we owe it to ourselves as the people, as we, the people of these United States. I think we owe it to ourselves to find some answers and to take action, just like our ancestors would have, just like the founding fathers would have. I bet they're rolling in their graves seeing how spineless we've become, how we're just letting people steamroll right over our lives, our rights, and even talking about rewriting the Constitution in their image. Why do you think they want to do that? Because the Constitution is the only thing standing in their way between liberty and tyranny. Unlike Patriot Front, I'm on the side of liberty. And I've never had any problems with black people. Growing up in an area that was controlled by a lot of Hispanic gangs, I've had some conflicts with Hispanics, but I also know there's a lot of good ones too. I'm never gonna say, oh, you're all bad. Somebody's all bad. Generalize a whole population just by a couple individual experiences I've had. Some of the coolest people I've ever met, the friendliest people I've ever met were immigrants. Just happy to be here, happy to call themselves American. And a lot of them are more patriotic and more American than most white people I've met. And that's the conservative Republicans, who just line their own pockets, only care about themselves, demonize the poor, whom they make poor, demonize the homeless, whom they kick out on the streets. We're all being gaslit. And it's sad. Funny thing is, I've never had black people come after me, trying to hurt me, trying to beat me up, trying to carjack me, nothing. That's all been white people do that stuff. My former employer ruined my life. He was white. Everyone involved, except for one Hispanic tweaker that they took advantage of, they weaponized and just used his hot-headed attitude, his lack of self-control. They exploited that, sent him after me. But he was just one. The whole rest of them were all white, ranging from local businessmen to cops and judges. And now I think I'm starting to see what ties them all together. I think they might all be part of the same group. Because I can't help but wonder, why did they destroy my life? They must have seen me as a threat. I take that as a compliment. I must be doing something right. But unfortunately, I don't have much left to live for. So that either makes me someone they really don't want to mess with, or someone who probably just won't be around much longer. But I can promise you this. I'm never gonna, off myself. When something happens, it was made to look that way. And what I'm saying now reveals enough motive, so you'll know why. God bless you all. Stay true to America. And if you're not American, stay true to your own country. Stay true to your own people. Anyone can be a patriot. All you do is you care about your people. You care about your country. And you try to do what's right. And that doesn't mean hurting others or starting wars, because I dream of a world where all of us, we're all just united as one species. And a person, an American and a Russian and a Chinese person and a North Korean person and even an Iranian person can all sit together at one table and just have a decent chat as friends. I'm tired of this crap where we're enemies with everybody. That ain't right. My ancestors helped build this nation, and that was not the vision they had for this country, nor was steamrolling over the Native Americans. Let's try to stop letting history repeat itself, people. Let's try to do better. Feel free to subscribe for more. It always helps. It lets me know that what I'm doing matters, that I'm making an impact. And it also lets me know that I'm getting through to people who want to do the same. We can all unite. We don't need to stand divided like this. That's what our enemies want.